Did you really not hit record?
We
not. She's
won.
right.
We 1000% were in fact doing a show without
Let, let me reenact it. So,
No.
Monique, how many people did you know that's going to Ronnie's wedding? And can you talk about them now?
3 or 4 of them, and no, I can.
So we talked about this last week, Monique, on Gunk with Bon Jovial. I said we did this 4 times on the Depening, where we started the show. We did a Sweeney Todd watch along, an hour and 10 minutes, and I never hit record. And I made poor David recreate his manifesto about Stephen Sondheim.
Oh,
he had
my
to do
God.
it all
Here,
over again.
Totally
Mo needs to share something with you guys right now. Everybody listening?
What am I sharing?
No, you're sharing the information.
What are we talking about? I don't even.
What just happened?
We almost pulled the Dr. Ivan, Monique. Remember Dr. Ivan?
I do remember the Dr.
It was like
Ivan
our 6th
interview.
show. That was actually Gary Puppet came on like a little bit after that.
Yes, he did.
Time. And we never hit record, and we had a whole Dr. Ivan show about Stern Fan Network. It was really good.
Wait, don't we have a show that has Gary Puppet on it?
Yeah,
we
that's
do.
What I'm saying. It was early.
No, but not that one that he's actually on.
Yeah.
Yes,
he was
there
on
is.
A panel.
Yes. Remember we told him that Julian Barbary was going to be on the show? He came on. It was until the end where he's like, "Wait, where is she?" Like, "Oh, we're just kind of kidding."
So Monique knows 4 people going to Ronnie's wedding, and she won't reveal their sources, but she's going to have a bunch of dirt from them when they come back.
And I said to one of them who I know is going, I begged him to take me as his +1 for
That's right. That's right.
And I can't believe that we had a conversation for about 8 minutes without being live.
Oh, eight forgettable
why
minutes.
I couldn't see like the amount of people on the left-hand side, like how many viewers there were, and the minutes.
Well, they're all watching Casey now. That ship has sailed.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
So for people who don't run a StreamYard, you have to hit go live, you have to hit record, you have to hit add people. It's all 3 different things, and it's so easy to not do one of those things.
I know, but I've never done that. That's actually very rare for me.
Yes, you have. We've done it 4 times.
Go live. Go live?
Yeah, we've done it. We've done the exact same thing like about 2 months ago. We started talking for 10 minutes, and we're like, fuck.
Well, sorry. I was telling the boys that I'm having extreme jet lag, and I'm super tired and like that. And then we also talked about the fact that a bunch of boys are willing to chip in $10 each. Nobody wants to do the 100 themselves, but $10 each to make sure that Xavier is not on the show. And
you can do it, guys. I believe in you.
He's more than happy.
Absolutely.
Do that.
Please.
So Dennis is running a little bit late because he has a social life as opposed to us. And
someone has to remind you they have a social life, Monique, they don't have a social life.
I know. He was at dinner or something. Alcoholics often blame jet lag. Yeah, but I was like for real away with the 7-hour time difference, and I'm just really, really tired.
No, you got that reverse, Mr. D. It's jet lag that blame alcoholics. It's not the alcohol's fault. It's your fault for not hiring me as a drinking consultant.
And God knows I drank enough on the flight. It's just hard to get back into the swing of things when you've been gone for a while. That's all. And plus,
when they have to deprogram you from the Taliban.
Yes, and that too. Yes. I know. Oh, Frank the Tank. Honestly, if I had Bolivian marching powder right now, I'd be the happiest girl in the world.
Hey, I don't.
I will tell you that somebody had. I have very good doctors. Somebody had actually.
Yeah, so I had to mute our friend here because we want this show to continue. So you let me know when the illicit talk is over, Mo, and I'll let you talk again. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, never mind.
Hey, Hooper, they're like above my knees.
Oh Oh my god. My god.
Yes.
Okay,
Anyway, let's continue with this
okay, just so
children-friendly
you know,
program.
we usually start the show at 9. However, just in the last thank you, Ida. I love you so much. Thank you for that. You made our night. That just makes us
Thank you, Ida.
thank you, Hal. Thank you, Ida.
Speaking
Ida,
of,
I hope you watched the Egypt show because it was a lot of fun. And if you ever think about doing a trip like that, any of you actually, if you think of doing a trip like that, I am more than happy to send you my itinerary. Just hit me up at radiogunk@gmail.com and I'd be more than happy to share my entire itinerary with you and let you know how that trip went. And yes,
Ida, we love you and appreciate you, and just like your precious pizza, you are the deepest of dishes.
But the reason that we're starting currently at this time period is because I'm a little jet lagged and really, really tired. So no, 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 no. Ida doesn't count towards your
Well, we know that, but
okay.
Frank apparently has 999 in his pocket burning a hole.
How was the Egyptian hashish? I do not smoke, so I don't know. I've never even touched a cigarette to my lips, and pot is one of those things that I've tried in the past, but it's just not for me. So there's that. I'd rather be up than down. That's for sure. You want to know where I got what dress, sweetie pie? Are you talking about the white one with the blue? With the blue embroidery? I bought that for like $26 when they lost my luggage and I had no clothing. So I went to the store and bought a couple of Egyptian things from some Egyptian store. And it was like, I will never wear this. I can't believe I'm even buying it. But in reality, I wore like all of it. No, Steve Z, you are not the only one who likes Xavier. There's a lot of people that are really super lovers and super haters of him. And
I
it's so
love them
funny.
all.
There's been times where I have gotten that shit, and then John has gotten it, and then when Dennis started on the show, God knows he got it like horribly, and now it's X's turn. So that's okay.
Yay.
Because we did a count the other day of how much Xavier actually talked on the show, and I think he maybe was responsible for about 7 minutes worth of content, yet the haters couldn't stop
Yeah.
talking about how, you just,
The
like,
haters, like there's more than one.
yeah, I know.
Come on, come on.
I know. I know.
It's all good. Let's move on to the show.
Okay, so the show. So here's what went on today. Absolutely nothing. And so because
There were two
absolutely nothing
things.
went on, the only thing that was really interesting and was really something fun about the show was Howard talking a bit about how Bill Maher was talking about him on his podcast.
Christopher show.
And but the curious thing about it is, oh, thanks, Sin Lu. The curious
Thank you,
thing.
Shin. I'll send you some naughty pictures later.
She's still waiting for a ringtone from you, you bastard. The weird thing about that conversation about Bill Maher is that we were all
Ja
kind of curious
Rule.
about why he never played any clips from it.
Yeah, I was all
And
over
then
it.
Johnny, downloaded some clips from it, and now it is quite evident as to why he didn't play anything
When you
on
watched
the
it
show.
in real time, didn't you? No, Bill Maher, pun intended. Did you? You must have said. Oh, am I echoing now?
A
Oh, it went away.
little.
Okay.
I don't hear it.
You
Don't
must
worry
have
about it.
said, "How is he not playing this?" And he lit this thing like where I'm gonna play it, and then he thought the audience was so stupid they wouldn't catch that he wouldn't play it. And I was all over him like, "There's got to be a reason why he didn't play." I knew as soon as he said my ex-wife really briefly. I'm like, "Oh, okay, Allison's a reason." I went and found it. It's like 31 minutes in, and it is a haymaker about Allison and Beth have the double standard about it. I don't know if you want to play it now or wait for later, but it was
I
great.
love it. And you know what? The clips I have that will build into that literally account for about a minute and a half. So yeah, I'm more than happy to get into it just as soon. I just want to go into it in our normal routine and then we can like really dig into the Bill Maher thing.
My volume's low again. It says JOR.
I will help
From
you with that.
Fairfax, Virginia.
I,
I don't care. Whatever you think sounds.
I
I
will
hear you fine.
I will
Frank the
fix you.
Tank says the same thing.
I will
Um,
fix you.
the best part too. Well, not one of the. Well, one of the best parts is that he's talking to Beatle spawn, and nothing embarrasses Howard more than speaking to Lennon royalty in that way, getting humiliated. I think that annoyed him as much as anything else, because I have brought clips of Bill Maher show. He brings up Howard like every other time to every other guest, and it never got on his radar until now, which is bizarre.
Which is kind of weird since he hasn't had Julian Lennon on since Jesus Left the Jews. So I'm just kind of curious why it would affect him so much. But we're going to get into it. So he started the show with about 40 minutes and 37 minutes worth of Lenny Dykstra. Got right into it right from the beginning of the show. It was as disgusting as you may have thought it would be. I don't understand why they
How he's like
continually
this
perpetuate.
fuzzy cartoon character, stuffed animal, and he is a how many time felon? I don't understand how this is in this brand he's trying to cultivate. How Lenny Dykstra is a yes, but say Louis C.K. is a no.
Well,
How
Louis
is
C.K.
Lenny
is a no
Dykstra?
for obvious reasons, but
Isn't Lenny Dykstra's transgressions 1,000 times worse than Louis C.K.?
yeah, but I think they think of Lenny as like a whack packer who's willing to do like disgusting things and not question it.
And Lenny stuff happened before the Me Too stuff, so
Oh, he
I
doesn't
think
get a
I think that
yeah
has a lot to do with
statute
it.
of limitations,
Yeah, I think he.
I mean, at least in
limitations.
in people's minds.
So yeah, I didn't record any of that. He's really disgustingly gross. So I thought I'd play a little bit of the music because they did like a lot of like song parodies
A
of him.
mediocre center fielder, I might add, Monique too.
Totally
Yeah, a
mediocre.
mediocre center
Yeah.
fielder. It's not even a good base. He's an average baseball player. It's not even like that goes for him. It's not like you
Yeah,
have Kirby Puckett on.
yeah, he's disgusting.
Posthumously.
All right, so let's play a little gross Lenny Dykstra song. Here we go.
And better than ever, ladies. And they.
I see a little nice black pussy. Robin's hole makes me shoot a giant load. Tugging on my red meat because I really want to see Robin's asshole, Robin's asshole, Robin's asshole, Robin's asshole. Let me go inside your hole. I'll lick your pussy and then you'll fuck me. I'll lick your pussy and tickle your taint. Let me.
Okay, I couldn't do any more.
Because all that woke speech, and he has Lenny Dykstra on yesterday, right? Isn't you supposed to be woke, right? Does Lenny fit into the woke persona?
Yes, clearly he does. Mm. I don't know. I have no words for that, and
It's
that's
not even good from a sucky standpoint. Like it's supposed to be so bad that it's forced, it's bad, it's not clever, it's not ironic, it's nothing. It's crowbarred in. Why now? Why him? Why did they do this? How long did it take him to do this? Who is this for? All of the above.
all of the
Just
above.
garbage, just dumpster fire over and over again on the show.
But let's take Tuesday and spend the first part of our show
Hot
on
garbage.
him. So yeah, it was disgusting. Nothing about it is fun. I don't know who I was talking to about it the other day. I don't even remember if it was on air. Probably not. But can anybody remember when he's had a song parody on that wasn't done by one of his 70 people in the back?
But like from like a Dan the Song Parody Man
How about
or a
random?
contributor. Yeah, that's a great question. Somebody mentioned that. Yeah, I think we saw the same thing. That's a great question. Some
Nobody.
weird, yeah, I don't. Right, somebody just sent it in.
Ew, Farmer Justin. Ew. Ew, I don't even want to say it out loud. Robin's P and A are probably all cancer riddled and removed anyway. Yes, that's probably true.
Isn't Lenny a huge verified racist too?
Wait,
Why are you
doesn't
going
remove
along with
what's-
this, Robin?
I know. Gross.
Well, it's just like a catcher's mitt there at this point.
She's like Barbie down there. By the way, she hated the Barbie movie, which is so surprising to me, and they never got into it, and I don't know why. And I found it to be a fantastic movie. I really did. I actually teared up a little bit at the end. I
Because-
watched it by myself, and it was very female empowering, and she doesn't even understand that, and whatever.
Because it wasn't about her, is why.
Yes, I guess that's right.
Yeah.
All right, we're not going to talk about Lenny anymore or anything that has to do with him. We will move on.
Oh,
I swear to God, I will never.
Yeah.
remember.
Can we? If we're not gonna talk about Lenny, can we talk about Manny Moda instead?
Yeah, I would have listened to Mookie Wilson's song instead.
Yeah.
Of Lenny
How about Rick Monday? Can we do a Rick Monday
Dykstra.
show?
Rick Monday. Oh, my Mike Jorgensen over here.
All right, boys. Sports. Okay, so then of course we need to get into some COVID talk again. I want
Of
to
course.
discuss the fact that I was just away for 17 days and on 8 flights and did not get COVID. Yet everybody on his staff seems to be riddled with it. And so he
Job
has
security.
to announce it because
It's almost
so
like it's all
pure
fake, so he didn't have to
COVID.
come back.
Who?
Guess who? Guess who? See if you can guess. Name someone
Gary.
on our staff. Gary. I'm talking to him
Are
this
you
morning. I go, Gary.
serious?
I go, Gary, you got the COVID? And he goes, yep, he got it. But he's okay. He's on the Paxlovid and
Yeah, so very important. And follow up to that was from the wrap up show, which I'll play right now.
So what happens tomorrow for Paul Simon? Normally you're in studio when these big guests are there. What's the protocol now? Obviously you can't come in.
Yeah, don't we have a team. We're good. We have a team, so we're covered. I will be sorry to miss Paul, but I will watch it and listen like everyone else. So we got it covered.
Are you sleeping away from Mary? Are you walking around with a mask? Are you protecting her?
banished.
Or is it like
I'm
if we're all dead, if I die, you die with me?
No. I'm wearing a mask. They're wearing a mask. I'm in the bedroom. She moved upstairs. I ate last night. They ate at the kitchen table. I ate like a room away. It's like, when you slide the food under the.
Yeah, all right. Shut the fuck up, Gary. Seriously, like you're an idiot, and so is the entirety of your family, and everybody is jumping on the bandwagon.
That linebacker that he married.
From Syosset High School.
I'm telling you, they had a picture like during the summertime, and they were, I guess, seeing off their son at the airport or something like that. Or Heit House was going to Germany for an internship on playing records on a digital component and making believe that that's actually music, and everybody was masked. I mean, sorry, of their family. That's who was masked.
Fake COVID, yes, guys. Gary's the master of doing a thing that the staff has been trained to do. Is you have to pretend to be into the things that Howard's into. So you're a germaphobe and you hate COVID, and Gary's fat shaming the other day. He knows exactly how to appeal to him. He tells all the right. We call him Gara Huckabooey, and he tells all the right lies for him, and that's the job he has.
But
to
they all
protect
do.
Howard.
I think
Yep.
they've all
That's the staff, right? Jason does it.
So somebody had also mentioned on the wrap-up show that I guess the thought was that Howard isn't going to be in either because he's worried that everybody on his staff has COVID. But I didn't hear that on the wrap-up show. I didn't hear that. So even though I tweeted about it, I'm not necessarily sure that that's true. So I'll take the.
If this is Mick Jagger, how much does he go with this?
No,
Mick Jagger insists
Oh,
on coming
dude.
in. There's not a chance in hell he goes with this. He'll come in.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Absolutely.
one of the last funny things that Stern ever did is when he made Gary wear that beekeeper mask. That was it. That was like the last bullet in the chamber. And also, John, separated at birth, Mary Delabate and Clay Matthews from the Green Bay.
That's good. Mary Delabate, alumni of the same school as our beloved.
I'm not
Judy
joking. Look up Mary and look up Clay Matthews.
Oh yeah, I know Clay Matthews.
Prove me wrong. And no, I'm talking about the people in the audience.
Okay.
Prove me wrong.
Syosset High School, Monique.
Oh, who went to
Judy
Syosset?
Tanunu and Mary Delabate. Natalie Portman, Judd Apatow, Chris Russo. Yeah, they're all.
By the way, I don't want to be that guy. Have you guys seen Natalie lately? Woo.
Natalie who?
Natalie Maines.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh man. Ooh. Imagine if Billy Idol had shrunk and gained like 50 pounds.
Oh Jesus!
See, that was kidding. Everybody on your phone right now, look her up right now.
I got it. No need.
Wow. Yeah, there was always a Texas.
What happened? What?
The Dixie Chunks.
See what I mean? Billy Idol shrunk and at 50 pounds right there.
The Dixie Chins.
Dixie Chins.
I don't like making fat jokes, but she deserves.
I don't.
She's
I
a
know.
Howard
She's a
Howard enabler. She deserves every bit of it.
She looks like Lou Costello.
She looks like the person that ate the Dixie Chicks from the 90s.
She ate all the chicks. Holy, what happened? Oh, that's
I'm guessing I'm gonna say the progression of time, but she's a rich person. Come on,
She looks like
ain't Billy Idol.
Marion drag.
There was always a pool hall dyke waiting to climb out of her, though. I think.
Okay, you
He's
know what?
always in
I
there.
know.
We apologize for.
Oh, so
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, I didn't
Sorry,
know.
you know what? We're better than this, and it's beneath
No, we're
us to
not.
make these kind of
We're really not.
jokes. Sorry, guys.
We're really
All
not.
apologies.
And by the way, the funny thing about that is the fact that that's absolutely something that he would never ever.
Bro,
Right. She's immune to the
bro,
fat
if
shame.
this was like, if there was anybody else, how would that would be a week of material?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm sure Lizzo's going to get fat shamed like Mehmet did when she comes back.
Quite
As-
frankly,
yeah.
would never. You're absolutely right. Go listen to Quite Frankly right now. Go, everybody.
Go. Everybody go.
Ironically, she
Go.
got that from eating McDowell's.
Oh, that is a shame. Do we have an
But the
old
thing, you know,
picture?
it's all good, but the thing is, when you're that rich and you're a performer, I mean, there's really, I mean, I kept a couple LBs is, whatever, but come on.
Oh, babe, anything is fine. I mean, honestly, it's okay. I mean, this
Now when you got that kind of money,
to me,
she has Earl had to die money. Okay.
It
I
just
will
kind of tells me that maybe she has some sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
Something maybe. Look how cute she was. So cute.
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
She didn't really build her audience on look. She's sort of about the sound. She plays instruments. She writes her own songs. She sings. It's not like she's like
she's a
model
talented
first and then
person.
Yeah, she's very talented.
Except for now, she looks like High Pitch Eric when he did the Kelly Clarkson thing.
Yeah, that's his.
She's morphed into Lisa Lampanelli in a way. They're kind of switching bodies.
No, Lisa, because Lisa actually lost like some scary weight, like that she was on like drugs.
Yeah, but it's Lisa, dude. Come on.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
nasty.
He was never a looker.
Did you see that last picture of her with that instrument? That's actually a cello for scale.
All right, let's be nice. That's what I say, Lady Gaga. She has to have like something's going on there. It's like that's not something that happens naturally. It's not. What do you mean, Holden? You appeared on Quite Frankly for 3 or 4 episodes. Please don't hate me. Ugh.
Okay, whatever. Good.
Yeah.
Tell them we said hi.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we say hi.
Hi.
Oh my God, hi. All right.
What an
so,
interesting show you do.
all right, let's move on.
Can I be on your
So I don't even care about the fact that he shared his dad's porn stash. So I'm gonna move on from that and delete that.
Yeah.
What
I,
is
I heard that. Who cares?
So yeah, we don't care. So let's go to Bill Maher and what he said. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 clips relating to that.
Wait, Monique.
Yeah.
Do you think you should play the context? Like, what would be better to play Howard first or the Bill Maher clip first? Because you could see what Howard's avoiding saying. Like, maybe if you play Howard first, like, oh, this is why. I don't know. What do you think is a more effective way?
I feel
to
like
frame that?
listening to the show as we all did, right?
Okay.
So we
Yes.
listened to the show, and we didn't know, honestly, what was going on. Like, we didn't know why we didn't know enough about it. So I think he was very cagey in trying to kind of maneuver
I'm going
around.
to get in front of it. I'm going to take on Bill Maher, but I'm not. So I'm going to make pretend I'm going to play this clip, but he never played it. He thought the audience is so stupid, they actually wouldn't catch it. He never actually played it. Because he starts off going, I'm going to play this clip, and then never goes into this huge monologue, takes fake calls backing his narrative, and then never actually plays the clip they're talking about, and nobody called him on it.
Right. Not a single word about it. Just so you know, I raised John's volume. Hopefully that helps for him. I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, sorry. Give me a second, guys.
Howard Stern always gets on the radio and says he loves his wife. I've never been criticized for this, but he goes, but haven't we had enough of that? Like, what about his first wife? I feel really bad for her. So I go, what?
What?
What a sexist thing to say. Like,
Sexist.
There's
What
nothing sexist about it, Monique, if
thing
you
to
watch
say,
it.
like, you're assuming, he says, it must hurt her feelings that I'm in love with a different one. It's assuming that he knows something about my first marriage, that, of course, the man must be leaving the woman, and the woman must be devastated and be sitting around pining away for her famous
And
man.
still listening to your every word.
So, like, there's no context here. So we're
No.
not really getting anything except for some weird one-sided commentary.
So he could paint himself as a victim. This is always the way.
Thank you, Shane. I've been away for a while, but suspect Whiskers is still using. Yes, that would actually. That is actually true. Thank you, Shane. Okay, so he continues on, which is, I mean, it's just bizarre. He went on with this for like a half hour. So here we go. This made me laugh.
You got to shut his mouth. I mean, I don't think I come on the air every day and say I love my wife, but I thought it was a pretty positive message especially with my audience, to say to guys, instead of like ragging on our wives, how about talking about that we appreciate them and love them, but evidently he's very worried about my relationship.
Well, this is
I'm sorry. So positive messages. So the entire time you were with Allison, it was okay to talk about miscarriages. It was okay to talk about, you not
wasting
getting
my
any
money
from her. It's okay to talk about, how she's wasting money on cleaning women.
She
and
doesn't do anything. She sits around all day, do nothing with her yenta friends.
This is all okay.
Right.
This is all okay. But now that you're with Beth, it should be a positive message. And actually, it always comes off like you're pandering and like a muley
Yes.
adult cuck man who, is with a woman child who can't even speak articulate sentences to you. Like, oh, I love you so much. I hate you.
It also sounds very contrived and canned and forced, that you have to remind someone how great your marriage is or how great your wife is. She probably isn't. There's probably a lot of trouble, because you wouldn't have to say that on any level. Johnny Meyer's absolutely right too. That gag order, I'm obsessed with that early, because all he did, the Allison smear campaign, guys, you want to hear it. So the shows from 99 through about 2004-5 is nothing but an Allison smear campaign, and she had her lawyers
And
shut it down.
let us not forget that once they got divorced, it was the Allison is persona non grata, and there was
Yes.
no speaking of.
He
Allison
never says her proper
moving-
name in that what he just heard.
No, my ex.
My
That's it.
ex-wife.
So here's Robin putting her 2 cents in, which, as usual, whenever Robin does a soliloquy that's more than 10 seconds long, makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
I've never been married.
No
Right,
shit.
fine.
I've never wanted to devote my life to anybody.
Bullshit. You just
Fine.
couldn't.
And neither has he. He has no idea how that works. So how
Yeah.
could he comment on it?
I don't know. But he,
wait.
he's very comfortable taking a
Isn't it the woman that's always giving people mother advice of how to raise kids?
Yes,
Like
and
Oprah.
how to get married. And
He never shuts the F up about stuff like that. But now
At least-
other people should.
Like Oprah, but at least Oprah has a Stedman. Robin's narcissism, and we go over this all the time. She's saying that no one is good enough for me to dedicate not just my life to, any time whatsoever. So I can't even be in a partial relationship. Her ego's so incredibly inflated and so narcissistic. She can't dedicate time for what? Where are you going with this? What is
So-
she doing that's so magnificent that she
I'm
can't
glad
share
that
it with
you
someone?
mentioned that, because I keep writing it down on my page of shit that I want to talk to you guys about. And it's something that I hear every time I listen to the show now. And I want you guys to be like super aware of it, you guys in the chat, while you're listening to the show these days, because Howard will say something like, I never blah, blah, blah. I never liked so-and-so at whatever station. I never did this. Robin will always come back and say, yeah, we never did that. So Howard is very I, and
Yeah.
Robin is very we. And he never says, we never did that. We never said this. We spoke to so-and-so. It's always, I spoke to so-and-so. And she'll be like, yeah, we told him.
There's no
Yeah.
we in team, Monique.
There's no,
There's no-
there's no, right. Exactly. There's no we in team, but she does it constantly. Well, let me finish this clip. Hang on.
shot at me. So I did something I'd never done before. I wrote him an email. I said, why don't you give me a phone call?
Oh, let me go back. and look
idea
at-
how that works. So how
Yeah.
could he comment on it?
I don't know. But he felt very comfortable taking a shot at me. So I did something I'd never done before. I wrote him an email. I said, why don't you give me a phone call? Why don't you tell me what you think about my life and my marriage? Since you're, of course he never wrote me back. Because
Oh,
You
he's
know what?
afraid of
Because
you.
Bill Maher doesn't care about you. He really
I-
doesn't.
If this is true, and it might be true because Mar will actually address this. He actually listens to the show. If this is true, there's not a shot in hell Mar won't write him back or call him back. There's not a shot in hell he won't. He's always
He
taking it
loves
on.
confrontation.
He loves confrontation. He lives for contrarianism and confrontation.
All right, here's the last one on this thing, and then we're going to go to some Bill Maher clips because we're really interested in listening to it. Here we go.
my whole act, if you will, my
Listen.
whole being on the radio is being honest with my audience. And I try to be I don't share everything, but I try to share a lot of my life. I mean,
Homo.
talking about certain things isn't always easy. And I think that I like to show, especially the men in my audience, that I have a very loving heart.
Listen to this
Ah!
bullshit that is going on right now.
I want to play that Tim
Yeah.
Sabian clip.
You
of him
know,
getting
I
fired
wanna be embarrassed
when his father
by
gets
having
sick.
a loving heart. It makes you feel like, that men will think I'm weak if I say I love my wife, or men will think, you don't do that kind of thing. It shows weakness. And quite frankly, it takes a lot of strength to buck the system and say, no, I really have a soft side, and
Who is this guy?
and, we need some of that in the world. I think people are
doesn't know who he is.
competing on each other so much.
Dude.
Are you kidding me
We
with
just
this?
had Lenny Dykstra on.
Exactly.
Oh.
Scant
Bro,
hour
he was
before this.
literally defecating on his dying dad a few months ago. It hasn't been
Yes.
that long.
Well, his
He's
whole
literally
act was
defecating on his
not-
dad as his dad was dying.
No, Jeremy, we have no idea what he's talking about. We have no idea.
Like, legit. Like, who is he talking? You're right. Who the F is he talking about?
We don't know. But
He
what we
called
do
his
know-
wife an investment a few months ago.
But what we do know is that now that he's done with all of his BS and all his pontificating about, how he feels so slighted. And, it's so funny the way he'll talk about somebody like Bill Maher. Like if it was anybody else, if it was like a lesser person, or if it was like some stupid newscaster in Des Moines,
Yep.
on like some morning show that slights him ever so little, he will argue with the tape to his death.
Yep.
But with
You know
Bill,
what?
he's like, I'm just trying to be honest and loving and be the best man I possibly
Listen.
can be.
Since they kind of listen to us once in a while, I got news for you, Howard. Beth don't love you. She
Yeah.
loves your money.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to state the obvious, but if you were broke, bro, she wouldn't even have given you the time of day.
God.
She knows she has the employability of a White Castle employee.
Yeah.
So she
true.
puts up with your crap.
Right,
Beth
Got a
don't love you. She
resume
loves your
with,
money.
like, 2 things on it before you. So let's move over to Bill. So Bill had Julian Lennon on. That's who this person is on the
Right.
right-hand side, who I actually didn't even recognize until Johnny sent me the clip. So
That makes this more traumatizing to Howard because he's always trying to kiss Beatle ass, and I think that this embarrasses him even more that that's his guest. I think that I think he would have possibly given attention, but if it was a lesser person, he might not have given it this level of attention.
yes,
Was
agreed.
Ray Starkey not available?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
And I don't want to start a fight with him. We finally repaired our relationship. Before.
By the way, Bill is always high in his show. Like,
Yes, he is.
you can tell it's almost like Stuttering John slur level of highness.
Yeah, the eye is closed. One eye is closed.
Yeah, but
he's
he doesn't.
mispronouncing names. He's not
Yeah.
a good. He's not a good spokesman for marijuana. Not on
no,
this. He
no.
can't remember shit.
And you know what? I think with most potheads, you have to do more and more and more to feel that same level of highness. And so he drinks as well whilst doing it. And so yeah, he's always like
He
a little-
does play with his ice very well, to my liking. That's my favorite part of the show is watching him
as a drinking coach. you
distribute the
like
ice
him.
bucket. Yeah.
No, interesting. Okay, here we go.
For the pandemic, and we're getting along great. Howard Stern.
Oh, okay.
But like, and when he did my real-time show like right before the pandemic.
He's so
and,
high.
Yeah,
kind of razzing me in a good natured way.
I'm sorry I didn't see that because I watch your show often.
Oh,
It's like
you can YouTube it.
Okay.
How he was only on once ever, so that's that. And he's saying to me like, "Yeah, but Bill, you're successful, but you don't you want to settle down?" And he goes on about how much he loves his wife, Beth, which he has been doing on the air for like 10 years.
Yeah.
But we know Howard had this other wife before Beth. So
I love all this, by the way, and I just want to mention those are some of the ugliest chairs I've ever seen in my life.
It's club random, don't you get it?
a slightly immoral one because I won't settle down. And all I could think of is, how does this gushing about the second wife, how does that make the first wife feel? Could we just not gush about the person while the other person still can hear it?
Yeah. Well, it depends how it all ended, really, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Julian Lennon all of a sudden sounds like an old English guy.
Yeah.
And it's very weird to me. It's like throwing me off just a snurch here.
He sounds like Yoko.
He kind of.
It depends how she feels about the whole circle. She might.
Who's she?
The first wife. She might have been happy to
No
get
name.
out of the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's still. I don't care. It's still gross. It's still mean in a way.
Yeah.
So.
But he's implying, and I think I agree with it. I think you'll agree with us. You're not there. I think the gushing over Beth for many, many years, maybe not to this day, was passive aggressive shots at Allison. Look at what I have, and then bragging about what all the things he does with Beth, he never did with Allison. Which don't you think Allison would love a place in the Hamptons? Don't you think Allison would love to go on all these trips? She never got to do any of that stuff, and I think he's right on the money.
The reality is Allison had him when he was at his peak, but Beth got him when he was at his wealthiest.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. So, sorry that you didn't have him during the time period where you could have reaped so much more benefit of his wealth. But you know what? She didn't do that badly. She got married,
she married a millionaire, right? Like months after the divorce.
She married happily.
David
It doesn't even matter how much money he had. I'm sure she met him in
a rich
whatever, Rockville Placenta type place that they lived in, North Shore kind of place, 5 Towns-ish, Woodmere, Hewlett place.
But hey, listen, I haven't heard this interview, but why is he talking about Howard Stern's wife when
I don't know? It's so weird.
Julian Lennon's father famously abused him emotionally and abandoned him.
Yeah, and then married like some
John was a complete prick to Julian.
Reaching bitch. I just the whole thing. I don't know.
Can I explain what the topic was?
Yeah.
The topic was celebrities need to marry equal people. So, you have to be on the same celebrity level and someone who elevates you when you're out gallivanting in public. You can't be embarrassed by the mate in the celebrity world. You have to be the equal. It's like, I have to be better than this person. I have to be perceived as. And so he's going into weird couples.
Elephant in a Room. Did he talk about John and Yoko marrying?
I didn't listen. I only listened to this part.
I'm just curious. I mean, it's because he seems like John took a huge step down.
Mara's
for that
a huge Beatle file. He's not going to say
anything
bad about it.
Well, I'm sure he is.
Everybody is in baby boomers. It's not unique.
Yep.
All right, let's move on, and I want to hear the rest of the clip. Here we go.
Be like, and celebrities.
There's a lot of that going on.
Stupid celebrities do it all the time.
All the time.
They I was not alive before her. Everything I was doing was like taking a shit compared to being with this woman I'm with now. And the first chick is like, what?
But I just think well, especially in Hollywood, of course. This is such an incestuous town in that
Yes.
in the relationship field.
Yes.
It's
Oh, nice
you know,
camera angle there.
It's
I know.
The
Yeah.
hell is that?
tripping heads every other
that
friggin' week.
that camera angle looks like when your dog bangs into the blink camera on your
Right?
and you don't realize it for about a week or so until you look at it and say, "What the
They're
hell
trying to get the angle on the Giannis and Antetokounmpo offensive foul, Monique. They need to see from
There you
behind,
go, right?
You know, it's and
Well,
they're undying.
well,
Their undying love every 6 months to a year, going, I found true love, and then the next minute, you know, they're shacking up with someone else. It's
I feel like a lot of what I don't know, maybe I'm misreading this, but there is a sort of
it's comedy.
I have to be with someone worthy of me, or else I look bad. And I don't know if that's the thing you want to use to drive your love life.
No, seems very important and relative here to have someone that's in the public eye as well that will fit nicely.
You know, it's interesting because as they're talking about this, I noticed Monsoon had done a thread today about Beth having to go into the city last weekend, and Howard had talked ad nauseum about it. And as it turns out, it was for some sort of Brooke Shields one-woman show she was doing at the Carlisle hotel or something, or the Carlisle, whatever. And all the people that were there to see her and praise her and, make sure that she was happy and whatever. And totally lost my train of thought. What was it that Julian Lennon just said? Oh, somebody.
Well, they're still talking about Howard technically.
So what it is basically
like,
is whenever Howard is somewhere. So I did a little dive into all the pictures from the thing and whatever, and usually it'll say like the star, like Jerry Seinfeld was there, and this one was there, and this one was there, but it's always Howard Stern and Beth Stern. Like they always make a point of
she has to be brought up, right?
of
And then when the
bringing her up.
luminaries, right?
Exactly, and nobody else cares to do that. Nobody else cares to do that.
That's what PR people do. They very much are Googling themselves. We know this for a fact. They very much are. She is in the fame game, and she insists she gets brought up in every way, shape, and form because she has such an inferiority complex. She should have an imposter complex. She doesn't belong there with these people. So her name has to be brought up. I like what Dorian Morgan says. If the timing were any different and Bill Maher did his politically incorrect show from New York, really, Howard could be Bill Maher. Bill Maher could have gotten Beth. That's the type of guy that she'd be hanging around.
Absolutely,
That's
except
so
Bill
funny,
Maher
Dorian.
doesn't commit to anybody, and he likes Asian.
Yes, he'd be at the Mercer Hotel, at the Soho Grand or the Tribeca Hotel or whatever.
Yes,
he's not into horses.
If he lived in New York in those years.
Yes, but Beth would have gone. Methinks Beth would have gone for any of those guys who would have been somebody that would have enhanced her favorability in the world.
But
And
Bill is so right because it is that sickening. I've never been alive until I met this person. That's how he frames it, and that's what Allison. Also too, like you could have like Ashley's like Ashley and her Howard's son-in-law could be a Bill Maher fan. They could be watching this and they hear that and they're talking about their mom, right? I mean, she's not Allison. I don't know if she would Allison like that clip or no? I think she would.
By the way, Julian Lennon is 60 years old. Somebody was asking about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, Casey and us are very cool. We love him. I text with him all the time. It's all good. Everything is good with Casey. Why? Is he saying something? What is he saying?
I hope he is.
To the contrary.
No, Casey's cool. Casey is nothing but love.
Yeah, I would never even have an argument with him if that was the case. All right, let's go back to the show at hand. He started doing, I don't know, it was just really weird AGT bullshit, and it was just kind of weird and very lie driven. So let me just play a little snurch of that.
I don't know. It was like I don't know what newspaper or anything, but they were saying that I had been fired from America's Got Talent and I'm hiding a secret.
How long is he off of America's Got Talent?
7 years, 8 years.
Okay, how are we? How do we go back to AGT on a constant basis at this point?
Well, we're happy we didn't go to 1987 again. That's
Because
usually
he has
the
no new life experiences.
None.
And
Nothing's
this
going on in
comes
his life. You're
right,
exactly right.
and he has
Nothing
to
that he
circle
wants to
back to
share. Nothing that he wants to share.
and it still eats at him the Simon Cowell Sony leaks. I don't know if you have that letter in front of it. It's just not, he's claiming he wasn't fired. We've gone over this on this show 1,000 times with that letter and clips from it and the day of it. It's still it's how egomaniacal he is. It still eats at him. It's still I think he thinks about it all the time.
Well,
It's
let's
one of
listen to the lies. Here we go.
Oh,
I said, well, if I was
Back him
fired, I
up.
don't. Well, I mean, I guess in a way, if you want to interpret the facts that way, I get, again, I read this stuff and I go, I guess they got to sell newspapers, but I didn't even think anybody was interested in America's Got Talent. The only thing I could
nobody
think
is.
is that like it somehow is generated by Simon Cowell, who still feels guilty for lying to me.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I'm sure he feels. Wait, here. This is the best one. It's a minute long, but I just thought the lies were so rife in this. It's classic.
I think in year 2, I wanted to leave, and they said, please don't leave.
Please don't leave.
Stay. And so I stayed on for year 3, and I was convinced that was it. And the reason was I felt like between the radio show and this, I like doing the radio show, and America's Got Talent wasn't sort of my vision of my career. It was funny to do for a season or two, but now it was turning into a gig.
It's a joke now.
Funny for a season or two.
It's a joke now.
By the way, he was the most serious person on that whole show.
Easily.
Easily. For real. Never.
And I was looking for more free time in my life.
Yeah, right.
And then in year 3, Simon Cowell showed up at the show. He didn't have a gig at that time, except over in England. He wanted to be on American television.
Because he needed more
And
money.
I remember he saw me there, and I saw him staring at me the whole fucking time. And I said to my wife afterwards, I go, this fucking guy, he had, I could see the wheels turning in him. He was freaking out how popular I was on the show.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
When the crowd was very, very into it.
He was freaking out because of his popularity. He was jealous. So basically, Simon Cowell jealous.
Wasn't he part of the Sony hack?
Yeah, this is what.
Yeah, he was really sweating you, bro.
No, but he wasn't part of the Sony hack. It was somebody who worked for him who was part of the Sony hack.
What I mean, yeah, it was mentioned. Yeah, he was. Some info came out.
I have in the private chat. This is the email. See it?
I got it.
I think it's only this. It's not super long. It's just also too, why don't you fire Howie Mandel then? Let's get rid of Howie. Why do you need Howie Mandel? Fire Howie instead. Because he brought the show to LA, wasting copious, not just his salary. Yeah, $15 million a year, Mr. D. And then uprooting at these other people who are bigger than he is. The ratings go down. You're not getting what you paid for. There's no edge. There's nothing. And he probably, Monique, you know how this works, right? He and Buchwald went in there and pitched. My audience makes. I have an audience of 10 million people a day, and they're all gonna watch America's Got Talent, and you're gonna pay me this. Okay, let me see. They have no ratings to produce to them, so he got away with huckstering himself to AGT that he's going to bring his entire audience with him, and they had no idea that audience was dwindled to nothing.
They had no idea.
Bamboozled.
Exactly right. Part of the deal was that Simon cost less, and the show would move back to LA. Absolutely. Here's the WikiLeaks, just in case any of you don't remember what this was. Read confidential. Why I called you. Sure, I would be happy to. See, we don't even know that there was some back and forth prior to this, and I'm not sure.
I'd love to see that.
I met with Simon Cowell yesterday. If you remember, he was considering what to do with the show America Has Talent. He is the star of it in the UK, and producer here is usually successful and a better show in the UK. He's thinking that the right thing to do would be for him to star in the show, not Howard Stern, and move it to Los Angeles, where it would be cheaper to produce. He wants to meet with you. He's out here. By the way, it's so horribly done. I can't even believe this isn't nepotism at its finest. I can't believe that this Michael Linton isn't some retarded child of somebody.
It always is, Monique. If you trace it back, he probably is related to someone.
I mean, really, I can't believe that you would write a notice like this to somebody at NBC Universal that that is written so poorly. Any chance you could sit with him and hear him out, perhaps with Bob Greenblatt? He is very, very talented. Like, who needs to say that about somebody? I think the whole thing is so insane to me.
Yeah.
We have a big overall deal with Simon and own his music company and half of all his television show he produces. I mean, it's just such a stupid email. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Here's the raw email. I wonder if there's anything of any note in this. No, I guess not.
We're good. I mean, that's more than enough.
Yeah, it's more than enough. It's right.
I mean, it just shows how much crap he's full of, man. Come on.
Think about this. You have a salary he doesn't deserve. They moved the show to New York. They're not getting what they paid for. And then he's making them hollow promises in meetings that I'm going to bring my huge audience. And they realize, oh my God, what was the percentage ratings it dropped? It was
Enough.
35%.
I mean, honestly, it seemed like he just wanted to milk and AGT like he milks Sirius. He wanted just to be apathy. They just keep cutting him checks for no freaking reason.
But there's
That's
no
what it seems
easier
like
job in show business, X.
That's
There's
what it
what's
seems
an
like he
easier job
wanted.
than a judge? He's speaking for 90 seconds every 2 hours. What's it's and you remember how much time he spent saying how much easy Paula Abdul's job is and Randy Jackson and any idiot can do it. And when he started doing it, oh, it's this crazy analyzation. I don't know, I think the meetings with Buchwald and the NBC executives, that's what I would love to see. I would love to see what he promised them because it's always the same shit. I'm bringing my audience with me. And again, you have Generation X now in a position of power that is doing the hiring, and they think, oh, God, it's the same guy that I grew up loving. And
Right.
It's not the same guy.
It's not the same guy. All right, I'm going to move on a little bit. I'm not even going to go into, like, he started talking about Hartford.
I'm sorry, one last thing. Benjamin, yes, Radio Gunk is owned by NBC Universal. You got it.
Absolutely.
It is. Yes, it is. So he went into a whole thing about, he just started lying about his days in Hartford and how he had no money for rent and he couldn't even afford to like live anymore and all this stuff. And just so you all know, I'm working on a Howard Stern timeline, which we'll present to you guys probably in the next week or so, of the fact that after he graduated from college, he had like 1 or 2 jobs, but then he literally went like to one radio station for 7 months, left, went to another radio station for 8 months, left, went to another radio station for like 9 months, left, went to another radio station for a year, left, and each time making more money until he got to about $30,000 when he left one of his jobs, which would be equal to about $125,000 right now. And then his next contract was for like over $1 million. And yeah, that's just the way it went. And so there's a couple of little lie things that he went into, and I'm going to move on from that. I do want to talk about Ralph really quickly shilling the
I can't get
Metamucil
that
Man
fucking
again.
Adam Duritz Metamucil Man song out of my head. It's really fucking good.
It's
First
really
time I heard
good.
it, I was like, oh, it's a goof. And then I'm listening to it. I'm walking around the house singing it. And
Yeah, sure you are.
It's good. It really is good. And it's the purest kind of love.
And then, of course, he went into this song in its entirety once again, which we will not do. One more thing I want to go into before we go back to some Bill Maher stuff is Howard's amazing artwork, and I want to talk about that really quick.
Oh, how about bring back Jackie on
I got it.
Dan's Papergate?
I got it pulled up. Well, hang on. Let me just talk about this real quick.
I feel so bad leaving people hang with
This is the end of the show. It was already like 10:20 or something like that, but he has to get in this last call because it's in praise of him.
so many people on the phone. One quick call. Well, 1 or 2. Come on. Hey, Brian, quickly in Ohio. What's up?
Howard, Ryan from Fairborn, Ohio, former home of J.D. Harmeyer. Just want to say, hey, I saw Dan's paper. Man,
How did you see Dan's paper in Ohio?
I don't know.
It took Mr. Judy Tenuta, shipped it to me.
He lives on Long Island
so that I could see it. But you in Ohio happened to see Dan's paper.
artwork is fucking beautiful, man. I saw some of your barn paintings or maybe sketches.
Some of your barn paintings. There's one.
Absolutely gorgeous. So on the Cocktober, just riding that train, would you maybe paint some cocks of the staff members and maybe release them as a calendar for some short funds or something?
This is what he wanted to talk about. This is what he needed to leave his audience with before before he left for the day. So, I had seen that Bring Back Jackie had done something about it today, which I thought was phenomenal. Let me
I
pull
think
that
he
up
was
right
like
now.
DMing with the assistant editor of
Yes.
Dan's papers. Like
So,
he's a
yeah,
figurehead or
here it
something.
is. Just spoke to a JP at Dan's papers. Evidently, Dan doesn't own the paper any longer. Schnepp's Media owns it. I asked JP if the public could view Stern's paintings, that many believe them not to be paintings, but rather tracings and colorings from pictures. And that if this is true, it would constitute fraud by Howard Stern on Dan's paper's readers. More disturbing is if Schneps was aware that these paintings aren't what they're represented to be. I informed JP that this might be a story for them. JP said he'll alert the owners. So I kind of found that amusing. I did want to share a couple of things on that note with you right now. So what I did is I went, let me present screen. Hold on one second. So what I did is I took a little tutorial on Photoshop sketching, which I'm going
she had a tutor?
Going to share with the people right now. So I just decided, what would it be like if what I did is, hold on a second, I'll show you, is if I started with a picture of a barn and, started doing the layering as you do in Photoshop, and then, did a overlay copy of that, finally getting to this point. Okay. So basically what you could do is layer until you get something that resembles a sketch. That's what you do. And so this would be, this would be the manifestation of that via Photoshop.
That looks awful familiar.
Doesn't it? I think that's called doing a Dr. Ivan. Little buddy will get that.
So that's kind of what it looks like. So then I started to read the article that Howard had in Dan's papers, and it was about his teacher. And so then I started to do a little bit of a deep dive into his teacher. And I came across this, which I thought you guys would find incredibly interesting. So
Monique, I just saw on CNBC, the Daily Bugle just bought Dan's papers, and J. Jonah Jameson's the new editor-in-chief. I swear to God.
So here's the thing, just in case none of you had seen the Dan's paper thing. So here's Dan's paper.
Yeah.
And here's Howard's watercolor.
Here's Howard's Photoshop. Let's just call it what it is. Here's Howard's Photoshop.
Watercolor. So
well, it says art. It doesn't say drawing. It says art, which is different.
Yeah, it's very
art
nebulous.
Is not drawing. Art is what you just did.
Well,
that's
art is art.
Yeah, that's art.
Art is kind of like the Kanye West sticker that I stole off of a off of a pole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so there's this. So he starts talking about his teacher. And I decide to then look up his teacher, and I found a really interesting thing. His name is Frederick Rosen. So
Frederick Rosen.
I found a really interesting thing, Frederick Rosen, on teaching Howard Stern watercolor painting. This is by somebody called Mish Live, who has a total of 14 subscribers.
Yeah, everybody go.
I feel better now. Okay.
And so Frederick starts talking about Howard, and I just thought this was really interesting, and I thought you guys would want to hear it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, let's go to his artwork and what his teacher says about him. And I think there's a couple of things we could pick through in this.
Ideally, you want to become the kind of teacher you wish you could have had. I think that's the ultimate model for teachers, to say, so I try and I can teach somebody the nuts and bolts of drawing and painting. I can't teach somebody poetry or make them an artist, but I can teach them the tools that they can then become their own artists through using.
So you feel like someone can will themselves into becoming a great artist. I mean, what I've taken away from that is like, you have to put in your 10,000 hours.
Yeah, well, that's great that you feel that way. 10,000 hours is 20 hours a week for 10 years.
I don't agree with that.
It's exactly what it turns out to be. And I have students. I don't mind name dropping. Howard Stern is one of my favorite students. Howard's been with me 7 years, and my man has a foundation of drawing and painting that now he can really do his own thing. He's just evolving after these 7 years to become his own artist. He's really been flowering as somebody who's now doing his own thing. And it took him 7 years of looking at the artists I recommend and practicing the drawing techniques I teach and the wash techniques. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But if somebody's willing to put in the time, the beautiful thing about it is it's a learnable technique.
I was going to mention.
He teaches like a specific way of sketching. Yeah.
The comments are open. Refresh.
I'm sorry.
The comment section is open. Refresh.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Did you do that?
No, it was clearly Frank the Trank.
That in my name. Oh,
it's Frank from our chat. He is poison. He's making you look bad.
I love it. The other comments 7 years ago.
Hey everybody, the comment section's open.
Yeah, come to Islam. And
yeah, what is that?
Oh my God.
Okay, let's continue because there's some interesting parts
What
here.
is doing your own
Howard,
thing
actually,
mean in
you know,
this?
funny enough, I was doing some research for this conversation last night, and I had Howard on in the background, and all of a sudden he's talking about Frederick Rosen, and he tells a story which I'd like to get your take on.
And listen to how incredibly and shockingly boring the story is.
Right. If I'm these two, I'm like, who is this show for?
No, nobody. There's 14 subscribers. But just listen to how boring the story is, and then Frederick's response.
Over the weekend or just recently, he was speaking with you, and he was tantruming because he couldn't find bowls he used to mix watercolors.
Bowls.
Is this
Not
right?
bowls.
Is that just happened?
He was freaking out.
You guys.
Well, listen, Howard is under a lot of pressure. He's working, by the way, on a huge painting, the biggest one he's done.
What's his accent?
And it's taken him months.
He's from New York.
And he's doing a beautiful job on it, but he feels pressured because he doesn't have enough time, aside from the radio, to put in the kind of hours he wishes he could.
Oh my God.
He loves the painting so much that he's feeling frustrated. I've reluctantly had him work on bigger things because they demand much more kind of prolonged engagement. So working on smaller things is more manageable for somebody like him, who has to divide his time so strictly. But he wanted to take on this big boy, and he's doing it beautifully, but he's frustrated that he can't work on it. So at the end of our session,
what?
He's mixing colors. And what I do with him is I won't see him for a number of days. So I'll go over what his next step should be and some of the colors he should be using. And he'll even pre-mix some so that he's prepared.
I know.
So we're going over this.
He's in kindergarten.
And he doesn't have a bowl.
He doesn't have a bowl. Listen.
And he freaks out. Where the fuck are my bowls? God damn it. The housekeeper must have come in and taken them.
Oh,
He's
no.
like wigging out.
Wigging out?
And then he finally realizes that he just had a package of 6 out, and he has more bowls in a box somewhere. So he was like, okay, I don't have to fire her. Everything's fine.
Wow, what a swell guy.
But yeah, he went off.
Wow.
Poor Consuela. Hey, wait, let me.
Great find, Monique. I don't know what prompted you to look for that.
Rabbit
That's
hole.
a great find. That is this is the 1%er life we're not hearing about on the show. That
Consuela.
shit goes on all the time.
That's
That's
right.
the story that we heard about with the eye contact and the landscaper getting fired with
Mhm.
Beth. That shit goes on all the time. That's the real life. That is a great find by you. I don't know what made you look for that. I don't know how you
It's that
connect the
little
name.
minutia stuff that we appreciate so very, very much.
Yes,
So
I'm
I
all
have-
about that.
I have Howard's natural talent pulled up. This is his natural talent.
All right.
Bob's last smoke goes, guess I won't be painting with Howard anymore.
There it is.
This is what he paints.
That's his talent level.
That's his
I don't
talent
give a
level.
shit. I don't give a shit what
Nope.
you say. That's his talent level.
That's right.
Something on the beach, facing us or walking away. We're
Well,
not
And the
sure.
only one that
Fine.
relates to that is Beth's brothers.
Dennis, can you
What?
find for us?
The
Can you
recent
find
one?
the one that she took down because it was so horrible?
Hold on, I gotta find it. I gotta
That's
find
as
that one.
new and fresh as they come, and just
Oh
as
yeah. Hold on, let me go. Let me stop. sharing a little
JRR
bit.
is right. No, this never would have gotten out if Monique didn't find that. It's the only thing that's going to draw attention to that. Now he's going to fire his art coach.
oh,
Yeah.
totally.
It's okay. I just
Never
left him
would have
another
gotten
comment.
No one ever would have given that attention. It's been out
Yeah.
for a year, right? That's over a year that's been sitting there.
376 views, and it's over a year old. Yes.
That's so
Well, look
great.
at the new comment.
What?
Oh dear Christ! Why?
Make me refresh this, you bastard.
Refresh. Yeah.
You know, ideally, you want to be.
Hold on, I think it was a RadioGunk.
Funeral direct. 1-4-3.
Great show. You clearly lift.
Yeah, everyone in the chat, feel free to just pummel this thing.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
How would I paint my boat that recently caught on fire? Only after I eat my
Dominic.
one for me.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. I just hurt myself.
When does the Adobe
Jesus.
Photoshop tutorial start? Oh, you guys, kill me. I love you all. But you
Yes,
know what?
yes.
It is what it is. Sorry.
You know what? We're doing this for Gary Puppet. Gary Puppet would be
That's
proud.
exactly right. They were doing it in Gary Puppet's honor. Okay, that's Mish Live, Frederick Brosen on teaching Howard Stern watercolor painting. I'm just all into that. I love everything about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew you guys would appreciate that.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so getting back to the Bill Maher thing, apparently it made the news then. So Mediaite has it. Howard Stern eviscerates Bill Maher for criticizing Stern gushing about his wife. He ought to shut his mouth. Howard Stern declared that he's no longer friends with Bill Maher after the HBO host took aim at Stern's penchant for discussing his wife on air. Maher made comments about Stern on Sunday's edition of his podcast, Club Random, in which he said Stern always talks about his wife, Beth Stern. The HBO host took issue with Stern asking if he would ever settle down with someone, citing that Stern had been married before. How does this gushing about the second wife, how does that make the first wife feel? Maher lamented. Can we just not gush about the person while the other person can still hear it? See, what he doesn't realize is that Allison can give a rat's ass about
She
what.
doesn't care. She got paid.
Yeah, exactly.
She's out of hell.
And happy, and she's happy. Stern addressed Maher's comments on Tuesday's edition of Howard Stern Show. Knowing prior COVID, both men had patched up their rocky friendship. What a sexist thing to say. Blah, 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 blah. Stern said he reached out to Maher about the comments, so I did something I've never done before. Never. I wrote an email and said, why don't you give me a call? Why don't you tell me what you think about my life and my marriage, since you're so, you know. But of course, he never wrote back to me. I just want to see how brave he was. If he was brave enough to call me and actually get on the phone with me, and zero response. By the way, there's nothing that Howard could say to Bill Maher that Bill Maher wouldn't eviscerate him with.
Bill, like I posted in the thread, Bill Maher has twice the IQ of Howard.
It
Twice.
doesn't matter. He's fearless. That Maher's not running from him.
Exactly, but he's
he
smarter
probably
than
had
he
already
is.
contacted him back, and Howard said he didn't contact him. He's
course he
always
did.
coming out.
Well,
He
here's the
trolls him
thing.
like
Den of
their
Vipers.
You don't think Howard can call his agent and get his phone number so they can just text him? So for
course
sure he
not.
gets the
But he
message.
already has his
An
number.
email
His
is probably
number.
next to. It's probably in his emails next to the Best Buy Sunday commercial.
We know Bill. Bill's probably changed his phone number 4 times since Howard actually ever got home.
But I mean, like he can get that number. It's not that hard.
I
for
love
him.
Rupert's comment here. Allison's the only person next to Stuttering John that left Stern and got paid. Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true. All right, let me just see if there's anything else real quick on the Stern show that I wanted to talk about. See, now I didn't get this whole clip, as you know, John. So I'm just going to play what I have, and then we can talk through the rest of it about the seating for the wedding.
Oh, you
and
probably have enough. It's just, I mean, my whole point is
I
they have to
let's
take
wait,
the red flags back.
Let's listen to it, and then you can fill in the gaps because I'm sure that I don't have the whole thing. This is the last clip I have for today, and then we're going to get to some other stuff. So here we go. Maybe.
That was another thing. Oh my God. Doing tables, it was insane.
It's hard. It's hard to figure out who should sit with who. I know
That's
that.
good.
Yeah.
My daughter's wedding was like that. I know she called me, Dad, who do you think should sit here? I go, honey.
You know, there's no way that his daughter called him to find out who sits where because
Nope.
No.
Howard literally maybe had 10 invitees at this entire thing.
You got to handle that. I don't know what to tell you. Whatever would make you happy. I remember my wedding where people came to me afterwards so they didn't like where they were seated. Believe it or not, people had the balls to say.
Which wedding?
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
Which one? The real wedding or the fake one that was in Manhattan?
There might have been 3, Dennis.
The only one that counts for him.
It's the fake one in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Are you reading this, Dennis? Are you reading what's on the
Yes.
in here?
Oh my God. She
Yeah.
she sat in my lap, purred, and now she's getting ready to go to sleep on her pillow. Sorry.
Sorry. So
sorry, it's not happening.
What's this clip I have here with Bill Maher, Howard Stern, Dennis Miller?
Oh, it's just I was going through. I honestly feel like we could do a whole show on the history of the Maher and Howard and how they go back and the weird bipolar relationship they have. It is a constant push and pull. It has been going on since I can remember '94, I think. Since
All right, well, hold on. Let me do
Howard.
this.
Cleaning out the computer.
Okay, what were you saying?
Howard worked with Maher's dad at WNBC. This has been going on with these two egomaniacs. There's a lot of similarities, and Maher loves to troll him. And it's so what I have is the kind of the 9/11 stuff. So when Maher had those comments about he got fired from Politically Incorrect, and Howard didn't have his back, and he went on the Stern show, and then the freedom of speech thing. Maher was pissed off that Howard didn't have his back for the king of all First Amendment martyr, and doesn't have my back, and so they went back and forth, and Maher hit him on his own show on Real Time, and I think the first one you should play is it says 9/11. It's 3 of them.
Bill Maher versus Howard over 9/11.
Yeah.
All right. I love this comment. Puzzle has changed since she became a book.
Yeah, she's come big time now.
She is big time. All right.
Maher calls into the show because he is on the chopping block. This is 10 days after 9/11, and he makes a comment about the terrorists weren't cowards, and then they bring in like Crazy Cabby and Stephen Baldwin, and they gang up on him. But I didn't give you that. I just gave kind of Maher versus Howard and the basic argument.
Johnny Myers says, do you remember Howard accused Bill of stealing the idea of politically incorrect?
Yes,
absolutely.
That's why there's endless stuff, and the whack back politically incorrect. There's so much stuff we could do on that.
All right, that's amazing. All right, so let's go. Here we go.
Now, I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Let me tell you why. And then I'll give the mic. I don't know. Bill, there is nothing, in no way, unless you were making a joke, which I don't think you were. There is no way that a guy who gets on a plane and attacks defenseless people is brave. There's nothing brave about it.
But I didn't say that.
And there is no way that we are cowards for lopping bombs, because I'll tell you something. I'm just telling you, lopping a bomb is a perfectly reasonable way to wipe out the enemy and not risk our lives. I don't think that's cowardly. I think it's a response to a coward. All right, go ahead. So now you talk.
Okay, so obviously we're going to go on a little bit. Let me go to part 2.
Even we have done that. Sherman's march through Atlanta was against civilians. And he said, because they didn't turn back, because they completed their mission, you can call them a lot of things, but you really can't call them cowards.
Right. And I would disagree with that statement that he made. Because that's what I would do if I was. I'd say
I wouldn't have said we, because that's vague, and some people try to turn that around, knowing better, but still trying to fan a flame.
Oh my God, what are we listening to here?
They're fighting over 9/11 and Howard not having his back. So he gets fired, and Howard will not defend Maher for getting fired, and then Maher just goes scorched earth on him on his own show, and then takes him. There's a clip. There's a video clip.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is Maher's carrying this around forever. This is a couple of years after. I think this is 3 years after that. By the way, this is from my own VHS collection.
Damn.
I mean, I remember when I was on Howard Stern defending myself after September 11th, and Howard Stern said, well, I was defending my crazy comments. He said, I think we should drop a nuclear bomb on a Muslim country.
Yeah, you didn't
I don't
play
care
it.
which Muslim country. It doesn't matter. Just any Muslim country, just drop a nuclear bomb, throw a dart at the map, and drop a nuclear bomb. That's okay.
Yeah, Jackie wrote that for him.
Oh, damn.
All right.
Ha
Damn.
Both
That's
had a few. The clip you didn't play, the third one, he says, he goes, I just think you should just take a bomb and throw it at the whole Middle East and blow up the whole Middle East. And Maher says, how come I get fired? You working for CBS. How am I getting fired from a show called Politically Incorrect?
Exactly.
And he stays on the air saying much, much worse things than me for hours a day. How am I?
I disagree with you. I think what you meant was what you said. I think you said.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of explaining here that he didn't do that.
I think you need to say that night. That's true. The fact of the matter is, we are not. When we say we are cowards, there's nothing wrong with lopping a button. In fact, I wish we could press a button and blow up every goddamn friggin' terrorist nation and do it by robot, so none of us have to die. It's not cowardly. It's called fighting warfare the best way you know how. Fighting warfare the best way you know how.
Well, the best way we know how has done a pretty lousy job of it, and I disagree.
Wrong. Hiroshima.
Oh my God.
Of it. Boy, the Japs really behaved after that. Now they make sushi and they give us massages with their feet. The bomb, Harry Truman was light a bomb.
Wow.
That's how they behave.
That was a completely different situation.
No, it isn't.
We have been bowing to world opinion, but I don't necessarily know that that's cowardly.
Look, this fight against terrorism is going on for a long time, and we should have been attacking it in a completely different way.
Absolutely, but that's got nothing to do.
He's right. There actually, it was a weird time after 9/11. I remember, and George Bush wasn't my favorite president.
It empowered Badge Bunny, stolen valor pieces of shit like posers like Howard, though. That was the worst part.
I was all for. I was all for going to war. I was all for they're hiding things from us, and we need to go to war, and we need to get rid of these terrorists. I was all for it, until I realized what an incredibly psychotic, money grab the whole thing was. I mean, war is good for business, right? War is good.
Absolutely.
It is.
War is good for business, and that's how it always works. And yeah, I was all for it. I was like, yeah, fuck them, let's go, kill them all. I don't care.
Autobot, still calling them the Japs after all these years, right? That was that's the real guy. That's right.
That's the real Howard Stern right there.
We don't want the Japs anymore.
All right, so here's the other things I have for Bill Maher, but I almost want to get to Martin Short. So Bill Maher defends Howard's nest of vipers. Hypocrite Howard defends Martin.
Right,
Martin
so after that, Maher has the good graces to defend Howard being fired by Clear Channel to his panel, and he has Christy Todd Whitman on his show, but this is on Howard's show, and Howard's playing it, but he's bashing Bill Maher at the same time. It's an interesting, and this is where that quote, like the nest of vipers, comes from.
Okay, here we go.
Want to hear everyone debating us all over the country? I'll start with Bill Maher.
Oh, God.
Here's the understand, we have a service that clips all of this stuff. There's probably over 50,000 entries discussing this show, the Howard Stern radio show. Over 50,000. So I've narrowed it down to, here's Bill Maher show, real time, which I can't imagine anyone even watches. Guest is the former governor of New Jersey, Christy Todd Whitman, who many would agree we got into office. To the point of a rest stop after the show.
Wow, no.
You really think that you got her into office, so what she did for you is put a little signage up at some shit place?
Yeah,
Roy Rogers.
Exactly, how fitting.
Yeah.
On my old show, I had Pat Boone on, and I asked him, Pat, who do you think the Antichrist is? And he said, I don't know, but Howard Stern comes close. I noticed this week they yanked Howard Stern off of 6 channels. Now,
you have to notice.
I have to tell you, no fan of Howard Stern. I used to do his show, and it is a nest of vipers over there. They're awful people.
That's
how great is that? Couldn't be more right.
There's no lie there. There's no lie there.
Straight up, they are all awful people.
Let's finish it.
What the people like.
Well, Congress didn't take it off.
Yeah, but they really forced their hand. He got taken off because.
I mean, I love Howard. You have to understand.
You love Howard Stern?
Well, I don't love him. I never listened to him. But
She said, I love Howard Stern, but then when Bill said,
do you really love him?
and she goes, no, I don't love him. Thanks.
I mean, years ago, Howard Stern endorsed me for governor simply because my campaign called him first. It was nothing to do with issues, but I want to tell you, in the closest races I had, that made a difference. And I've been on him too, but I don't listen to him. I think this was really, what we have to watch is, they made a decision. They think things are going to change. Clear Channel was making a business decision. They could very well...
Has Mr. Stern started saying new things, or is it the other stuff?
And in fact, Clear Channel admitted that. They said he hasn't changed, we have.
I saw in that is that Rush Limbaugh defended Howard Stern, and even I think he's.
I don't even know what we're talking about. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm a little lost now.
Yeah, I got a little lost. Lost.
It's the whole FCC clear. How do you not follow that?
I
Clear
got
Channel,
weedy.
FCC
I got a little weedy, John. I got a little weedy, John.
I got give me your ADHD medication.
The you know, a lot of this Maher thing though is kind of the timing's kind of interesting because he's like gone off a lot of the narratives because he's thinking for himself, and now he's good. He's a good target for Howard to try to go after. So that's kind of because he's questioned a lot of the things.
There's no feuds, Dennis. You're wrong. There's no feuds. There's no targets.
Oh, there's no feud, but
he will not take anyone on.
No, it's for him, but it's for him to try to make his Hollywood friends like him more. So he goes after certain targets. He's very, it's very calculated. Plus, then it gets him in the newspaper because it's very calculated because it's been out there that Bill Maher's been questioning a lot of things because a lot of people on the left are not happy with him because he's thinking for himself, and it's been very interesting.
What would he think for? What are you talking about?
But a lot of people, Autobots, if you watch CNBC, MSNBC, they just follow the narrative and they say whatever is supposed to be said.
What does Fox follow, Dennis?
They follow the narrative also.
Right.
They all do.
Okay, let's
they
bring up
all
Fox
follow
too.
the narrative. But he
Bill Maher
doesn't.
has always thought for himself.
Exactly.
He's always been an independent thing.
And now he makes now it's very good for Howard to attack him because now it'll make good news. So he gets his name in the paper and he gets his name.
But,
exactly.
But Bill did bring him up for no good reason on his show. I mean, that was kind of weird.
I'm weird,
sure
but
you listened to a show in the past where Beth was on and being the whiny bitch that she is, and him being like, "Oh, honey, I love you. I love you too. I love you so much. I love you. I love you." And it's cloyingly disgusting. It really is. And it is true that he never did that with Allison. Never.
No, of course not. Oh,
Allison's
God, no.
Workhorse. She was the mother. Babies passed through her vagina. She probably, got a little like chunky after the fact, after 3 kids. There was nothing about her that he loved anymore because
I don't think you know what? If you look at the
her.
early videos of him and her, I don't think he ever loved her. Actually, I think that was all an arranged marriage. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how would you need to marry someone?
Had like real sex with. She's probably the first person that went down on him, and so that was like
exactly
love.
He remember he was broke and he looked like Howard.
Yes.
What the hell was going on in her mind?
No, you're schmoopy.
Oh God.
What does Howard love, Dennis?
Himself.
That's right.
And
only
money.
Himself. There's never been
himself
anything
and
in his
money.
life
That's what he loves.
And strippers.
Sociopaths love
Yeah,
nothing
who
but
gets
those
cars
things.
for?
And ambiguously hooker women.
Yeah.
Ambiguous sexuality hooker women.
So let's finish this off with talking. So we want to go back to Martin Short real quick because this was a topic of conversation yesterday. Michael Rappaport was on and they wanted to talk about defending Martin Short, and Howard goes into this whole dissertation about how amazing Martin Short is and how he loved SCTV. And I
never watched that.
Never watched that.
Saw SCTV in his life.
Positive, he never watched
A
that.
lot of this is to kiss Steve Martin and Lauren Michaels' ass.
Absolutely.
So in order to get in with them, you got to love Martin Short now all of a sudden. And I have, I've provided you many clips of him eviscerating
crap.
Martin Short through the years. Those are his real thoughts.
Absolutely. So what do we have here in the Martin Short clips?
Play the first one from his show from yesterday that you didn't play yesterday. I just happened to tune in and heard this. Like I listened to about 45 minutes of the show yesterday, and I heard this, and it was the first thing that jumped out at me. And
Okay.
it was odd. I don't know if you
It
had
was
it.
odd, but you know what? Everybody was in this. The hashtag Martin Short was trending for a little while.
There was an article on Martin Short, which I've gone into. We have this we probably had it on here. We certainly have it on the Deafening. How Martin Short, like Tracy Ullman and these people, are very talented, but nobody cares. I don't know what to do with
Right.
it. It doesn't really translate to anything. They keep giving him shows. It doesn't really work. He's kind of like needy and desperate and as the kids say, a try hard. And so Michael Rappaport defended him or something. And there was an article some guy wrote randomly about how, why is Martin Short still around? Why do we need him? Why do we care?
Ooh.
Okay, so
He's
hang
probably
on.
he's a very nice guy, I'm sure, family guy, but
Well, he had some funny moments. There's funny things he
here
did.
and there, but
yeah, here and there. I mean, not all the
according to
time,
Howard.
but
Well, okay.
funnier
So
than Howard, yeah.
before we do that, I have to tell you, I have a fond appreciation for Martin Short. I watch Only Murders in the Building. I love it. I mean, so I'm sure there's lots of people that don't, but I don't really care. And then I used to do like these deep dives into Martin Short, and this clip just kills me like nothing else does. And I just thought it was the silliest thing. I remember it from Arrested Development. I don't know if any of you do, but this was just ridiculousness at its finest.
140 pounds of upper body strength.
He certainly sounds vital to me.
This isn't Weedy?
Walk, Dragon, walk! Enter the room!
Welcome, Uncle Jack. Hi.
He's half deaf. It was a stupid hire. Not hire, eye level! Eye level! Kisses, and then we talk. Which one is Michael? Swoop me!
I can just imagine while they're filming this how much like ridiculousness went on.
You may be amazed. I'm invited into very few personal homes. To the nuts! The bridge mix! The bridge mix!
To the nuts.
Oh, is this the boy? Is this the little one? My God, you're...
I don't know. I don't know why I'm playing that for you.
To the nuts.
To the nuts.
You love all things Jason Bateman.
I do. I do.
I love that show because it was so insane.
So
it had no
insane.
point, no plot. It was just insanity.
Okay, let's play yesterday's clip.
Compliment. Let's change the subject for a second because I'm upset about something.
Upset.
I want to compliment Rappaport on Mike Rappaport defended Martin Short.
Yes, John Doe, you had
Now,
to be
there
there.
was a piece on Martin Short not being published, not being funny. It was published last week. What? And this drove me crazy. I learned about it today. I'm sorry. I would have spoken about it too.
Listen
Now,
to the hypocrisy.
I'll
when
be
he
the
plays.
first one to tell you when someone sucks. But an article that was entitled, here, I'll tell you the name of the article.
Why are we
Fascinating.
tolerating Martin Short?
Yes. Why are we tolerating? Why do we keep putting up with Martin Short? I think that was the name of it, Mike.
Right. What a loser.
I mean, I'm like, Martin Short. Let me just remind you why I think the guy is funny. First of all, take away everything this guy's ever done in his career. The reason I love him is he played Frank. Short was on SCTV. To me, one of the best television shows there ever was.
Never heard him
And
mention
Martin
it.
Short-
Never.
Saturday
Wait.
Night.
Hang on.
He was maybe at that point in time the only reason, one of the few reasons to watch Saturday Night Live. They had a couple of slow years, but it was him. I remember Billy Crystal.
Now he's Billy
It's
Crystal.
fucking unbelievable. I mean, this guy's one of the best comedy minds. And then I love the guy. So
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, the same Billy Crystal that they busted balls with John and
exactly.
It's
It's
funny,
not funny. It's not fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that same
It's not
Billy
funny, it's not
Crystal.
fun. So Howard, I bet Howard couldn't even name what the initials SCTV mean.
No.
I know he can. Yeah, and there's no way.
He
What?
Nor could he name anybody that was on it.
Exactly, but it's Second City TV. It was what was it out of Canada? I guess.
Yeah,
Wasn't
wasn't it Harold Ramis and John Candy?
John Candy Ramis, yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the funniest. It was one of the funniest sketch shows ever made. Absolutely, and that's where the Mackenzie brothers came from.
Yeah,
name all of
Hoser.
his daughters.
Yeah,
Dennis.
you hoser.
Hey, Hoser.
So of course, John then looks up a couple of things that have been said about.
It wasn't difficult to find at
Exactly.
all. Just put the year and Martin
Oh,
Short.
him
and
bagging on him.
I had to cut stuff out. It was so much.
All right, here we go.
Couple of things, because we have an intern that just TiVo stuff all weekend.
That would be JD.
Have you ever laughed at Martin Short's character that when he gets into that fat suit?
No, and I can't believe it's still on.
I'm listening to this tape of Martin Short. What's the name of that character? Jiminy Glick?
Yeah, Jimmy Glick.
It's horrible. It'd be funny if if like the person he's interviewing didn't know he was a character, but it's just so. I mean, who's there in that? Comedy Central?
Yeah.
It's just unfriggin' believable to me how that guy's still doing this.
Isn't it
He
crazy?
gets in a fat suit.
Wait, Second City was Chicago, which is the one out of Canada.
No, Second City TV was Canadian.
Oh,
Second
yeah,
City
so the
in
Chicago
the
one
United
is,
States,
Second
City
City, yeah.
is Chicago, but Second City
And then,
they're
like,
all Canadian.
Spielberg, and there's just nothing funny about it. It's embarrassing.
Jiminy
I
Glick.
don't think Martin Short. Like, what happens to this guy? Listen, see how long you can last through this. All right, I guarantee you, at 30 seconds, you'll be begging me to turn it off.
Go out and about with Jiminy Glick. We have a wonderful full-fledged icon to interview. Steven Spielberg's with us. Hi, Steven.
Hello, Jiminy. Nice
How
to see you.
are you? Nice to see you. You've done
It's already bad.
Yeah, but what he doesn't get is the fact that he was actually really interviewing Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, real Steven
somebody
Spielberg.
who
Yeah.
you could never get on his show.
This is the same guy that was wearing Fart Man costume at a 9/11.
Yes, but Steven
Interview.
Spielberg would rather go.
Yeah, but
on
that's
stage
different,
wearing
right?
a fat man
Wait a
costume.
minute. You mean Spielberg didn't appreciate, them mocking his black baby? You
No.
you don't think he found that funny?
No, I don't
Every
think he
day?
found that funny at all.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I don't think so. Let's move on a little bit. Hang on, here we go.
I love that film you did. Schindler's Express with Goldie Hawn. I've never seen Goldie better.
That was Schindler's List with Liam Neeson.
Steven Spielberg's trying to be funny. Everyone's ad-libbing.
Hold
No,
on.
not
I
ad-libbing.
just want to go on to Ross Dogg's Broken Spirit. I'm sure Howie has jumped on the Russell Brand hate bandwagon. He's a loyal company man. He doesn't know how he feels about that yet.
No,
He
he's
needs
waiting
talk
to
to
see
a
how
couple of people before he comes to a full decision on it. But I
They'll
know.
have, they'll have a
Ashton
hot take
Kutcher.
next month.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh, it's like a horrible improv gone wrong.
In here, and I think you're gonna.
I like what he did. Schindler's Express. Steven Spielberg's not even laughing.
A good story. Well, I didn't finish it.
It's okay. My guy with Joan Crawford.
Oh, you would have loved John Crawford.
How's that funny?
He's doing Ed Grimley in a fat suit. That's all it is.
Yeah, it sucks. I just don't know how he gets to keep doing that.
I'm very sad for him when I watch that show.
Martin.
Wow.
Wow. No, Howard does not mention Jan Wenner either, which is shocking. You know,
Wonder
he
why.
doesn't like controversy unless it's somebody who's not going to fight back to him.
Or-
Like
or-
what we were going to talk about tonight, which was Lauren Boebert, which I do want to. What show was awful, Farmer Justin? What show? What show? What
Glick?
show? What are we talking about?
Jiminy, I think he's
I
saying
never
Jiminy
watched it.
Glick.
I gotta
Jiminy
be honest
Glick was.
with you, I never watched
If
it.
you took it for
It could
what
be
it
funny.
was pretty decent.
Hey,
Artie was
what-
Artie was on that once.
What do you guys think is the worst news for Russell Brand? The rape thing or the fact that his ex-wife just sold her music for $225 million?
Oh my God, I can't believe
This
she
ex-wife
sold it.
selling it for $225 million.
Yeah.
I can't
The other
believe
stuff's all
she
trumped
was
up
able
stuff.
to do that. Honestly, I think
She did.
I
Good for
can't believe
her.
that.
She sold her music and she liked it.
Good for her. Good for her. I think
Jesus.
that is
I mean, it's worth
brilliant.
like $50.
It's a lot of scratch.
I, for one,
I
am
know,
rooting
for
for Katy
what?
Perry to be wealthier.
Not gonna lie. I have seen Katy Perry in concert. She gives a great show, and yeah, I think she's really
But
really good at what-
$225 million for it, though.
good for her. Listen, you
understand
know what?
that, but-
You're only worth as much as somebody's going to pay you, right? So
Ah.
they obviously thought that it was
And they wonder why
was-
these companies are going broke.
worth it. So
Yeah, good point.
yeah, no kidding.
Stupidity.
You're absolutely right.
Jesus.
I'm
It's
gonna
like how many
finish
times
this-
can you use California Girl for a commercial, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go back to Lauren Boebert really quickly to end the show with. Here we go. sorry. So Martin Short overacting gets goofed on to Jason Alexander. What is this?
So Jason Alexander did the producers with Martin Short, and they're doing Win Fred's Money, and they get to the end of it, and they go, he's such a ham, he's an overactor, he's a tryhard.
All right, let's hear. Let's hear.
And he
Let's hear,
puts
let's hear.
Jason Alexander in an uncomfortable position to agree with him.
Okay.
They'll be doing a very nice job, actually. If they come out to LA after May, I'm doing the producers out there with Marty Short.
Oh, Marty
Oh,
Short.
Marty
What a
Short.
picnic.
Marty Short.
Oh, that little scene stealer. What a hog. Good luck.
Good
Wow.
luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Still teaching that class. And you will be in the producers?
Yes.
Which part do you play again?
I will endeavor to be Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
You'll be Nathan Lane in the producers.
And Marty Short will be Matthew Potter.
Yeah, you don't think Marty Short will be over the top, do you?
He's going to pull it back a little bit.
Think he'll be able to pull it back?
Well, Marty has the romantic lead of the show.
Oh, good for him. Everyone will believe that.
He's playing the young guy?
He's the... Wow.
Don't ruin the
Yeah,
ending,
because
but I got
because Robin, you've ever played in anything ever, ever.
just
You know,
called
Private
him gay.
Parts.
They just
And
called him
Prince, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, Fresh Prince. That's right.
That's it was, Blobbin was on that. She was.
I was
horrible.
about to say that, Will.
All right. Well, based on the Photoshop that I had done today, I just really wanted to touch on the Lauren Boebert thing. And the only reason I wanted to talk about this was because the way that Howard won't argue with Bill Maher, but he has no problem whatsoever with ripping basically anybody a new asshole, which will get him publicity.
Correct.
And somebody had said on the listening thread yesterday, he's probably going to delete this because, and it's like, no, he's not going to delete it. This is the perfect opportunity for his PR machine to send this out to the entirety of media who, once again, would never say it themselves, but they use Howard as their useful idiot to say things that they would never say out loud.
Right.
That's exactly
Yeah.
the way it works. And that's how the media rolls these days. And it's really kind of pathetic and a little bit sickening to kind of understand that that's where they are. So it's still trending. This is, pretty much what it was all about. This has 2.5 million views from one guy, but it was passed around to a lot of different places. And so here it is. Lauren Boebert is a disgrace to this country. Howard Stern spends 4 minutes absolutely destroying Lauren Boebert. Warning, do not play in front of children. So, yeah. So I just wanted to finish off with this because it was just a weird, it's the hill that Howard chooses to always die on, is to pick on somebody that he knows is going to be incendiary to the entirety of the media.
There's no consequences. There's no repercussions.
Absolutely.
He's not putting himself out there. It's not edgy. It's also, a week after everybody else? I mean, you just go around.
Absolutely.
This story
I mean,
is so stale now.
everybody's still showing the video of like the guy playing with her tits while she's like, kind of doing the rub and tug. I don't think that she's right for government. I also don't think that friggin' Fetterman guy is right for government. So I'm not one-siding this. So don't come at me. I just think the 36-year-old just about grandmother who didn't graduate from 10th grade really isn't who I would want speaking for me in the halls of Washington, D.C. And plus she is a little bit of a slut nose. So here we go. Here's Howard.
Is a disgrace to this country, not because of the video. You are 100% right. Forget the politics. She's in a titty dress. If you saw the video, she's in a titty dress. She's with some dude. Looks like she's, obviously vaping, but also looks like she might be grabbing his penis during Beetlejuice. And he's playing with her tits.
Is a sexy play?
It's a very erotic play, evidently. I remember the movie. It was nothing sexy about it.
You didn't grab anybody during the movie.
I guess the play is much hotter. But she was wearing a tight titty dress. I've seen porn stars wear more. And this dude that she's with is playing with her titties during it. They're having a party. And I mean, take away the politics. Jesus Christ, she's fun. I mean, I'd like to
Do
be
you
to play.
want your Congress people to be fun or serious?
No, you're mixing. If you want me to talk about her as a congressperson, first of all, she's a liar. She was denying that she vaped, didn't even know what vaping was. But then when they found
Anything else about her except
Colorado, what are they? Just got dumb people in Colorado? How do you elect someone like her?
They're all high too. Come on, Colorado is the first state that legalized marijuana.
Isn't she?
All right, so they're all just basically stupid.
I agree with Alexander. He makes it boring somehow. It's not even like he's not even putting piss and vinegar in it. He's not even like punching it up. It's actually boring. It's by the numbers, and I assume he stole every single talking point from MSNBC. None of that's his own.
But it's not even a talking point. It's really just him talking about, a chick in the theater that happened to get caught on the camera. And let's also, by the way, talk about the fact that all these theaters have cameras, which I never
Or him
knew.
judging the guy who had Richard
Yeah, that's
Christie
kind of creepy.
streaking in front of a fucking Cosmo launch party. What's worse to you?
Yeah,
Some
exactly.
stupid
Yeah.
redneck pulling out his schwanz in front of a Cosmo party, or that?
But again, the only reason this exists in our zeitgeist is because this is what he does here.
Or how about the guy who was Lenny Kravitz? The guy,
Lenny
the guy
Dykstra?
the guy lionizing Lenny Dykstra. And
Yeah.
Boebert's
On this morning. He was on this
It's
morning for
way
a half
worse.
hour.
It's way worse.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that's all they do. All they do is quote him. All they do is quote him because nobody.
Do you think this is organic, Monique? You know how many
No,
podcasts
no, it
Leslie
is
Dart
not.
working on this, sending these to every, and they have, yeah, Opie's going nuts on him. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, let me see that. Let me see what's going on there.
Like the jokes about the Lauren Boebert thing, he's whining and complaining to his audience that this isn't the right behavior for a congressman or a congresswoman. I'm like, ew, who are you? Just make the jokes. He's all in with his dumb political statement and taking his shots at the right because of this. And look, we don't deserve better. You're like, if you're a congressman or a congresswoman, a politician down there in Washington, you should behave appropriately. Have you been paying attention? There are so many creeps down there in Washington on both sides.
No shit. Oh,
Truth be spoken. But I like how he calls out Howard on like, dude, you just tell the jokes because you really, your takes are not very smart. And they
How
aren't.
much deviant hypocrisy we could throw in his face every day, all day,
Oh,
for how many
baloney
years?
on a girl's ass.
It's just endless. I don't even know where to start with it. Just
Well,
go with
I mean,
Dykstra. Just do
Sibian.
something current. Dykstra. That's it. That's all I
Dykstra,
gotta say.
Dykstra's the lowest of the low.
Just something current.
If you do apples to apples, I mean, Denver, Colorado, the Columbine shooting,
Yeah.
the raping the girls. I mean, come on. So
Goofing
this
on
guy's
the
got the moral
Columbine
ground
shooting,
now.
right?
Exactly.
I mean, apples to apples.
Yeah, that Columbine rant is probably one of the worst things he ever did.
Ever.
Literally was. It was the
Honestly,
worst thing he
ever.
ever did. It was
Ever.
just
I think that
horrible.
we should actually do a Stern Fan Square table of like what's the worst thing that Howard's ever said.
That was,
I mean,
that was
I know
pretty
there's a lot
bad.
up there. There's the Selena thing, the Columbine thing.
The Columbine.
Yeah, he deserves everything he gets. But you know what? He's so
And mind you,
untouchable.
like we're talking to Mo about this, is he did this at a time when people had their kids murdered. So there was literally parents of these people that could have just heard him saying, "Well, why didn't you just rape her?"
Well, it's like Sandy Hook.
Come
It's no better than
on.
Alex Jones and Sandy
Yeah,
Hook.
I
It's the
mean,
same
that's
kinda
just-
It's
level.
a little worse because people
Yeah.
went after the parents of babies who died.
Yeah,
saying
I know.
that
It's not. I'm
your
saying
kid
it's
didn't
on.
die. It was
it's
it
in that
was a
family.
psyops operation, and you really didn't. Well, Dennis, why did you just raise your
Well,
eyebrows?
no, I didn't do anything. No,
Why
you raise your eyebrows?
I didn't raise anything.
You do believe that the kids died in Sandy Hook, yes?
Sure.
Sure. That's.
I gotta go. Like and subscribe, guys.
Like and subscribe.
Wow, Dennis, really?
I'm just playing with you. Sure.
Oh, okay. Don't fuck with me like that. With
I'm
that.
tired.
That's horrible. That's horrible. I hate you right now.
Dana Plato.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
All
I'm
right.
reading stuff
So,
inside here.
John,
Yeah.
some people are saying that they never really heard the Columbine thing. Is it possible that you have that for tomorrow?
I had a. He's done. I definitely had a 2-hour thing on my channel. I have it. I just have to go through it and whatever the the high points are, low points are.
It's just really that. It's just that part. I just want that part. That part where he says about the girls and
Yeah, that's
I'm
certainly
sure
in
it's
there, definitely.
available somewhere online as well. But
I'm
yeah.
still fascinated by these horrible internet media outlets that pick up on his fucking Leslie Dart
We
PR
pays-
bullshit. I know and the Pelican Brief told you that they had. What would you say,
Only
Dennis?
those guys.
15
Only
employees. Their job is to send them
Yes,
bullshit
to-
clips of the show to try
and
to get
just
them
to
picked up.
send them out. And he probably
and they
still
have
has
friends
that many.
who work for these outlets too. So they have
You know,
people who used to work on the show that work for TMZ.
But
blah
did you
blah
know
blah.
TMZ is owned by Rupert Murdoch now or something?
That
No, Rupert
makes
Murdoch-
sense.
I thought he's
No,
out of media. I
It was
thought-
just purchased by somebody. Yeah, hold on, let me see.
But the the thing is that now, because media has been so watered down to the point of
yeah,
you have these,
September 3rd okay, Fox Corporation acquired TMZ.
that's not Murdoch anymore.
TMZ is like a
Yeah,
Fox.
that was a few years
Who
ago.
owns Fox now? What is with the the Murdochs and who owns
Fox is owned by. I thought it was owned by. No, that's not Disney.
I don't know. It's so confused. I don't get
It
it.
is so confusing because Disney bought all the entertainment part of it.
Fox Corporation is
Yeah.
primarily controlled by the Murdoch family. They retain most of the controlling power in Fox Corporation.
But it's not Rupert. Rupert's like retired at this point.
Doesn't
I
matter.
mean, the Fox
like
News
100 years
lawsuit
old.
when they were lying about everything and got sued. What was the corporation?
Hey, can we go to the calendar?
It was Murdoch,
Wait,
right?
What's on the
that got sued?
calendar? I'm
go to the
tired of this,
calendar.
actually. I'm just going to say it out loud. I'm tired of this.
don't have a
Let's
new
move to something
calendar.
else, please.
We don't even have a new calendar to.
We don't?
No.
Are you kidding me?
What? Can we go to last year's calendar?
No.
What is it, not September in Australia?
No. You know what? I'm going to text that bastard right now. I can't believe we don't have a new calendar.
Slacker.
Good Lord. I mean, come on.
Uh,
It has to be September down there.
I mean,
I know it's almost winter.
We have like
or summer. I think it's
9
almost
days
summer.
left of September or something like
yeah,
that.
we're done. Let's go. We'll go right to October.
Well, he can do a Cocktober.
Oh,
Yes,
Christ.
yes, good idea.
Oh,
All right, so
God.
we're leaving you now. It's 10:22. We're trying to get these shows done a little bit earlier. Hence,
Yay,
we started
I
at
go sleep.
8:30. I'm sorry we started at 8:30, but we have to because I'm really tired. So we're going to leave you now. Paul Simon tomorrow.
Unfortunately, yes.
very
And
interesting
via
to see what
Zoom.
It'll be interesting.
Via Zoom?
No. I'm not necessarily sure that's correct.
That can't
No,
be.
they actually confirmed it on the wrap-up show.
No, I listened to the wrap-up show and I did not hear that.
But he never said, all right, so this is the best part. This is really, we have to read between the lines. Remember, he makes coming into the studio like it's actually something grandiose.
Yes.
That he is giving the
Yes,
presence
yes.
of God. He didn't do any of that. He literally, and he didn't play any Paul Simon music today either, unless I missed it. I didn't hear anything.
You did not miss it because he did not do that. He was
No,
very,
very,
into it
very,
yesterday.
very weird.
We talked about it ad nauseum, but yeah, no.
Yeah, so I sent the comment also to Paul Simon. Yeah, so-
I would like to. I'm going to set a poll. Tonight,
poll?
I would like to know whether or not you guys are good with 8:30.
I
or
love 8:30.
Better with 9. I don't want to do 9 if I can help it, but if 8:30 works better for everybody,
8:30
I'm good
it
with
works
that
great
too.
for me.
So I will ask the question and we'll see what everybody says. All right. So we're going to leave you. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk about Paul Simon or not. We will also maybe have the Columbine clip if Johnny can find it. If not, that's okay too. We can skip on that. But either way, we will see you again mañana. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.